guys, it's Flawless K here, also known as Kayla, and I am back with another video. So I know what you guys are wondering. What are we talking about today? Today I'm going to be talking to you all about things you should know before you go in to sit and take your NCLEX, and things you should know after you take your NCLEX. So let's get into the video. Hey, so I bet you guys are wondering, sis, what happened? We haven't heard from you. You left us with a cliffhanger. Did you pass your NCLEX? I just want to let you guys know that yes, your girl is officially a registered nurse in the state of California. So if you all live in California and take your NCLEX in California, they will not post your unofficial results on the Person View website, which I did not know that. So I kept checking for days and days on ends, and I never got it. So, but today's Friday, so Wednesday, a week and a half later, or like almost 2 weeks later, your girl got this big fat envelope in the mail from the board, a registered nurse in the state of California, with my certificate that has my license number on it and information about my license. So yes, so be on the lookout for this. Or I don't know, if you don't pass, then I don't know what they do, if they send you an email or they send you like a little letter. I'm not sure, guys, but that is that. So let's get into some tips about what you should do before you take your NCLEX. So tip number 1, tip number 1, arrive early. I arrived more than 30 minutes early to my testing facility because I just wanted to make sure that I got in there. I'm scared, y'all. They sent out the email, was like, if you are not on time, you will not take your test and you will forfeit and your money and all this stuff. So I got there early. Be there early, ready to get it done, okay? Tip number 2, do not go in there assuming that you're going to sit and take 75 questions and be out of there in the next hour and a half. No, because that did not happen to me. So it might not happen to you. So I would recommend that you bring some snacks with you. I brought some grapes and some pretzels in a water bottle filled with water. Worst case scenario, if you stay in there for 265 questions, you want to have you want to be prepared. You don't want to be in there for 6 hours. Now you're hungry and you're thirsty because you didn't bring nothing to eat or drink, sis. So bring some food with you. Okay, all right. I also recommend, if you do bring snacks, put it in a clear plastic bag. The last thing you want to do is bring like a bag of chips that has all this writing on it, and you're sitting there and you're just holding your chips, or you're looking down and you're doing something and they think you're cheating. No, you're already stressed out, you're already worried, and you're on your break, and now they think you're cheating. Absolutely not. So be safe than sorry, and put your snacks in a clear plastic bag so that they can see what you got going on. The next tip, I don't even know what number I'm on. The next tip would be, leave your cell phone, your iPad, your Android, your iPhone, your Apple Watch, leave all of that in your car, sis. There's no need for it. You can't use it, so you might as well just leave it in your car. Or if you have to get dropped off at your testing facility, then I would bring it with me. But that's worst case scenario. But do not bring it with you. They will take it and put it in a plastic bag. So I tested in a facility in California. It looked like some apartment suites or something. Mine was like in a suite. So I went in. There was a lady at a desk. I gave her my ID. She took my name, put in my information or whatever, and she handed me this big old note card that had all this information about don't share what's on this test, and don't use your cell phone. If you get caught cheating, blah blah, you're going to get recorded, blah blah blah, whatever. So I read through it and I was like, okay, cool. I put my purse and my snacks and stuff in like the locker they had on the outside where the lady was like watching over it, because you can't have like no water or nothing in the testing facility, y'all. I went around the corner and there was a guy. I guess it was another guy training him as well. They were. He did my fingerprints. Well, the lady actually did my fingerprints, but he checked me in, and another thing is you can't have scrunchies. I put my hair up in a ponytail because I wanted my hair out my face. I'm gonna take a test. Last thing I want is to be bothered by my hair in my face. So, but the lady was like, "You, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am, you have to take your scrunchie out." I was like, "What? A scrunchie?" She was just like, "Everything we do is for a reason. People find something to use to cheat." So I was like, don't bring scrunchies with you to the Nclex testing facility. I had a jacket on because I didn't want to be cold, because I can't test if I'm super cold or I'm super hot. But I had like a button up, and they were kind of like, okay, we'll let you slide with the button up. So we had to check my sleeves, empty all my pockets, do your pants leg like this, pull up your hair, let me see behind your hair. So if you are like me and you get cold a lot, I would recommend you put over a hoodie and wear a shirt under your hoodie, just in case they say you can't have a hoodie and you have to take your hoodie off. Because yeah, so the lady had logged in, or no, I put my noise canceling headphones on that was not noise canceling, because I could hear every sneeze, cough, yawn, chair move in that facility. Okay, anyways, I sat at my desk and he started it. "Do you have any questions?" "No." "Okay." So I went through the questions. They'll give you like a questionnaire and they'll show you like, oh, you might have a select all and apply, here's how you do it, or you might have a drag and drop, this is how you do it, or a math question, blah 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 blah. So I was like, okay. So I sat there and I prayed and I was like, Lord, it's just me and you. Okay, it's just me and you. Then the test started. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this straight off the bat. Okay, UWorld, UWorld, UWorld. Okay, everyone literally praises UWorld and put UWorld on this pedestal, y'all. And they're like, it looks exactly like the Nclex. You won't be disappointed. Blah 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 blah. We gonna get into the whole UWorld in another video, okay? But when I tell you that my test looked nothing like UWorld, y'all, I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed because I was like, I just knew it was gonna look just like UWorld. It definitely had like the bar, the blue bar, kind of like, but the words, it was just kind of like it wasn't UWorld. Then I had to realize it was the Nclex. It wasn't UWorld. So maybe that's why. Okay, so I was answering my questions, and I was just like, some of these questions, I was just kind of like, oh, because I did not study a lot of a certain population. I'm gonna say a certain population I did not study a lot of, and I was getting a lot of questions about this population, and I was just kind of freaking out because I'm like, I should have studied this, or I'm like, oh, I know what this is, or I know, but I don't know this question. So I was just freaking out, y'all. Moving forward, I got to question 75, and I knew, I was like, this question, I said, not this question, I knew that the test was not gonna cut off. I said, I just feel like I'm not doing the greatest right now. It's not gonna cut off. Boop, 75, 76, 77, 78. It kept going. It kept going. And I was just like,
what's the name? We threw out his name!
I was not expecting like it to keep going, and then I think I got to like question in the 80s or something, and my screen just turned blue, and I was like, oh, it just says it's time for your break. Do you want to take a break? Yes or no? If you take a break, it's gonna count as your time. So I was like, I'm gonna just take a break because my back hurt. I'm uncomfortable. I'm sitting up like this. I'm trying to read the screen. The screen's so far. I need to get out. I need to get out of there, and I need to breathe. I left. I left out the room. I grabbed some water. I ate. I wasn't like on break for like 5 minutes. I was back in there maybe 2-3 minutes after I left the room. Well, after I left the room, I got some water, got something to drink. Got some water. I got something to drink. I like ate a couple pretzels and I went back in the room. This is when everything went downhill. When you go back into the testing facility, they have to inspect you again, right? And you have to put your handprint on this thing to make sure that y'all didn't just switch places, not your twin, it's you. So I put my hand on the scanner. It wasn't working. Did it again. It wasn't working. Did it again. It wasn't working. Oh, try this hand. Did this one. Did this one. It didn't work. It didn't work. It wasn't working. And I was just like, what's going on? She's like, well, was it working for you earlier? Yes, I didn't have no problems. My time is running right now. My break. I'm not even on. I didn't, finish in 75 questions. I really felt like I was gonna sit there for all 265 questions. So I was like, come on. I did it again. I was just like, just laid it there softly, and finally it worked. And I ran into there. I sat in my chair. She was like, I have to log you in. I'm like, okay, come on, log me in. Put my headphones on. Boom. I told myself, I said, you know what? You didn't stop at 75 questions. But that means you didn't completely just fail this either. So, guess what you're going to do? Prove to this freaking computer that you are going to be a nurse. Because I swear, y'all, I knew my information. I just was not getting the questions. So I was just like, I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to do this. Let's do this. I would mark 1, 2, 3, 4 on my paper. And I would scratch it out. If this wasn't right, I circled. Boom, that's the answer. Next. I did a couple of those, a couple more questions. 90, I was in the 90s. I got to question 100. And I had this easy question, y'all. I was like, this question is just like so common sense. It's not common sense, but it was like, this question is something that all nurses should know. And if you don't know this, then it's a problem. So I kind of felt bummed out because I'm like, I keep getting all these easy questions, and that means that I'm probably not in the hard range where I need to be, so I'm not doing good. So I was just like, oh, I know this question. I read through it 2 times, read through the answer choices, and I clicked it, and I clicked next, and the screen was just like, pew, congratulations on finishing your NCLEX. Please sit here and take these other questions for us, blah, blah. And I was like, I just passed my test. And that's what I'm talking about. So I sat there, I did the case studies, and then all of a sudden, my question thing started going up. 101, 102, 103, all the way to 115. And I was like, oh, snap. These might actually count towards my exam. But they don't. They do not count towards your NCLEX, so do not worry about it. Don't freak out like I did and think like I have to do good on these case studies because they actually count towards my exam. They actually don't. I don't know why it keeps adding more questions to your score, but they do not count towards your exam. So after everything was said and done, you saw I went back to my car and I was just like, I went from, yes, I'm ready to take my NCLEX to, I took my NCLEX. I don't know how I did. So here's some tips for after you take your NCLEX. After you take your NCLEX, go find something to do. I went to the movies 2 times by myself. I was just relaxing. Do not think about your NCLEX. If you're like me in my position, I had to wait like a week and a half before I got my results. Other states, like the state of Illinois, you only have to you can pay like $8, $7, get your quick results within 48 hours. But like 48 hours compared to a week and a half, y'all, I was going crazy. So tip number 1, after you take your NCLEX, try to relax, go hang out with friends, literally plan a vacation, go do something. Do not think about your NCLEX. Tip number 2, person view trick. People live that people live by this. People swear by this. That is truth, and it works, and it works. After my exam, y'all, I went and I told myself I'm not gonna do the person view trick. No, I'm not gonna do it. But I was freaking out so much that I was like, I'm gonna do the person view trick. And I tried to do it, and it just did not really work for me. I don't know. I didn't get the good pop up, nor did I get the bad pop up. I didn't get no red bar, so I'm not sure if I did it right or it just wasn't ready. But it made me feel like crap. It made me feel like I failed. And I was crying and crying because I was like, I didn't get the good pop up. I failed my test. I know I failed my test. And don't rely on the person view trick, I would say, because I've seen and read that some people had the good pop up, legitly had pictures of the good. So I'm not saying that the trick doesn't work, or I'm not saying it does work. I'm just saying, like, if you don't want to be stressed out or have false hopes, I wouldn't really rely on it. I would just personally wait. 40 hours is kind of like, it seems like a lifetime, but it's really not that long. And if you want to be 100% sure if you pass, I would just wait for my unofficial results. Because if you do the person view trick and you get a bad pop up, or you think you got the bad pop up like I did, you're just gonna make yourself even more stressed out for no reason. So that's another thing. Tip number 3, do not tell anyone, and I mean barely anybody, that you're taking the Nclex. Why? Why is that so important? Because, you guys, I had told my mom, my dad knew, one of my closest friends knew, like my grandparents knew, right? Just a couple people knew when I was gonna take my Nclex, right? And I didn't end up getting my results in 48 hours. So guess what people kept doing? Every single day. Hey, Caleb, did you get your test results yet? Did you pass your Nclex? Did you get your test results back? Did you pass your Nclex? And I was just like, I'm trying not to think about the Nclex, and you're calling me and you're asking me these questions. You're making me more nervous. So I would not tell, like, anybody, or bare minimum, tell your significant other, tell your mom, but don't tell your grandma, your grandpa, your best friend, your boyfriend. Don't tell everybody, because they're going to be like, did you pass? Did you pass? Did you pass? And you're going to have more and more anxiety. So, and last but not least, one of the most important tips that I can give you is don't compare yourself to anybody else. If your friends pass their test in 75 questions, that's good for them. Even if you pass your test in 100 questions, or you got all 265 questions, that doesn't mean you're less of a nurse than they are. They could have just had an easier exam, or they could have had more material that they just knew better than you. You know what I'm saying? Don't compare yourself, because that's going to make you feel bad. I had a lot of my close friends pass their tests in 75 questions, 76 questions. And there was people in my class who I thought were just like the smartest freaking people in the class, and they had all 265 questions and still passed. So the numbers don't matter. Don't worry about the numbers. If you're like going in there like, I'm going to pass the 75 questions because I'm just the best, I know everything, I know everything, and you walk out there and you end up taking 265 questions, sis, don't freak out, because that doesn't mean anything. What does it mean? Nothing. So that is all that I have to offer you for today. My next video, we are going to talk about what did I do to pass the Nclex? What did I study? Sis, give me the tea, give me the tea. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.